It's the morning weather briefing. This is for Wednesday, May 21st. This is James Spann. Alabama's weather calming down today after a wild day yesterday with multiple reports of damaging wind, large hail, and tornadoes. Let's go right to the radar. And we are live early this morning at 5:16. And you can see the lingering bands of showers and thunderstorms pushing down through South Alabama, south of Montgomery. Showers and storms lined up from just north of Monroeville to about Fort Deposit, over toward Union Springs and Phoenix City. Nothing severe, and those will continue sagging to the south and weakening this morning. And the northern half of the state is dry. This is the upper air look this morning. Deep upper low that's over Minnesota, the Dakotas, and the trough surrounding that rotating up toward the Great Lakes and lifting away from us. As the upper air support moves away, that means no severe storms today. There's the radar composite across the deep south early this morning. Temperatures are in the 60s over parts of North Alabama. Most spots are in the 70s. We're expecting highs in the low to mid 80s today, which is average for mid to late May here. And look at this. The weather's so much calmer this morning. That's the watch warning map. The only issue I see, flash flood watches up around Pittsburgh, and that's about it. Maybe some strong storms today on the Atlantic coast, down in North Florida, and maybe over Arkansas, but for most of Alabama, no rain today. Tomorrow, a marginal risk over parts of North Texas and South Oklahoma. And on day 3, which is Friday, a marginal risk over parts of the Florida Peninsula and parts of the Great Plains. Here's a look at rain for the next 7 days. This is the rain valid through Wednesday morning of next week. Rain amounts 1 to 2 inches for the northern two-thirds of the state, under 1 inch for the south. So model fans, let's take it day by day. Here's the GFS. This is the 06C run, 4 o'clock today. That upper trough is rotating away from us. We have a zonal flow underneath that and a dry slot for most of the state. Most of Alabama dry today. The sky partly to mostly sunny, and there could be a few showers near the Gulf Coast. But even there, probably not much rain. Highs low to mid-80s. This is the high-resolution HER, valid this evening at 6 o'clock. Showing at that point any showers offshore, maybe a few showers east of Apalachicola. Tomorrow should be a beautiful day. Lots of sunshine. Any showers should stay a little north of here. There might be a morning shower over the Tennessee Valley. In fact, I did pull up the high-res HER that is valid early tomorrow morning at 7. And at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, you can see evidence there could be a few morning showers over the Tennessee Valley. But other than that, the day tomorrow should be dry with highs in the 80s. And then Friday, an air mass change. A cooler continental air mass drops in from the north. Highs go in the 70s for the northern part of the state. Around 80 for South Alabama. The sky mostly sunny. Should be a beautiful day. Looks fantastic. So the weekend looks okay. This is Saturday. And again, there could be a few spotty showers, but most of the day dry. High should be in the 80s. And quite frankly, the same thing on Sunday. And again, could there be a little shower somewhere? Yes, but it sure looks like a decent chunk of the day will be dry. And quite frankly, the same thing on Monday, Memorial Day. So the GFS is trending drier for the long holiday weekend with the highs in the 80s, lows mostly in the 60s. And then Tuesday, that's when a surface front comes in here with a good chance of showers and storms. No evidence of any big severe weather problems at this point. And this is a week from today, Wednesday, May 28th. Look at the trough, upper low north of the state. And again, a cooler air mass rotates in here. Highs will likely drop into the upper 70s and low 80s. Humidity values coming down. Let's keep going. This is 10 days out. This is Friday, May 30th. Big trough on the East Coast. And if that's right, we're dry, very pleasant. We'll likely see lows in the 50s for much of next week. And at this point, after Tuesday, the latter half of next week looking dry. Rain for Birmingham. This is coming off the European Ensemble. We look for the green line. That's up there about 2.5 inches between now and the 5th of June. Temperatures coming off the NBM National Blend of Models. Low 80s today, mid 80s tomorrow, 70s on Friday. And notice the lows in the 50s, both Friday morning and Saturday morning. That will feel good. But then highs in the 80s for the holiday weekend. But then we drop back in the upper 70s by Wednesday and Thursday of next week with lows back in the 50s. And looky here, the latest long-range guidance. This is for May 28th through June 3rd. I like blue on that map in early June, meaning temperatures would be below average with a trough here and a ridge in the western states where temperatures will likely be above average. Goodness gracious, what a day yesterday. We had some very photogenic tornadoes. This was a little isolated storm that formed at noon, shortly before noon, and it clipped the far, far northwestern corner of the state. That's a waterspout that's over Pickwick Lake. And, of course, when it's over land, it's a tornado. And, again, I've heard of no structural damage from this. This was taken from near Waterloo School. Waterloo is in far western Lauderdale County. And, again, little drill bit tornado that came through. And, I mean, there was nothing else in the state except this one tiny little isolated storm producing that. And I say this a lot. Typically, the first storm of the day will talk to you and tell you a story. And it was just kind of telling us that you got trouble coming later in the day. And sure enough, it got pretty rough. This is the tornado that prompted the tornado emergency for parts of eastern Limestone and Madison counties. This is the tornado that came through parts of Madison and the northern part of Huntsville. And there's been quite a bit of structural damage. The Weather Service will evaluate this today to determine the EF scale rating. But the good news, I've heard of nobody injured from this, and I think that's a good sign that the warning process worked well. Understand, this is a very densely populated part of the Tennessee Valley. If you've been to Madison, if you live in Madison, you know a lot of people live there. Very fast-growing suburb, very dense population. And this thing came right through there. It originated in Limestone County near Athens. And again, you can go back and watch the live coverage of all of this, but pretty fascinating. And we are so blessed that we just did not have any loss of life. This is an example of some of the damage. This was parts of Madison here. Fortunately, nobody here was injured. We understand that the folks that lived here, they were sheltered at the time. And then we had some pretty wicked lightning last night. This was a fire that apparently, we don't know for sure, but seemingly was caused by lightning at the public library in Albertville. And this was last night about 10 or 11 o'clock, but certainly a pretty interesting, nonstop weather day. But the biggest impact was up in the Tennessee Valley. But again, we did have some damage in East Alabama last night. We had a pretty wicked storm that came through Calhoun County, parts of St. Clair, Calhoun counties. A lot of damage from Ragland over into Anniston. So, again, a lot of trees and lines down there. But again, thankfully, things much calmer today. I'll be in Gadsden today speaking to the preschool at the University of Alabama Gadsden Center. Tomorrow, I will be at Valley Creek Baptist Church out in Hueytown for a homeschool group. Again, of course, all the schools are, this is it for them. Many schools will have their last day today or tomorrow. But looking forward to see the homeschoolers on Thursday. And, of course, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great Wednesday, and God bless.